You need to know about what happens in Turkey. In this country, there are such bizarre taboos that they will leave you completely shocked. Are you in doubt? Then join us and we will learn 17 shocking facts that only happen in Turkey. Let's go. Number 17. The Turkish ice cream dance. On the bustling streets of Turkey, a peculiar tradition transforms the simple act of serving ice cream into a memorable spectacle. The masters of dondurma, as these expert vendors are called, master a complex choreography that combines juggling, tricks, and theatricality. The ice cream itself has unique characteristics. Its malleable and melt-resistant consistency is due to the use of salep, an ingredient extracted from wild orchids and mastic resin. This combination results in an elastic texture that allows vendors to perform impressive maneuvers, such as lifting the ice cream horizontally or making it disappear from the cone. Traditional flavors include pistachio, hazelnut, and mastic, as well as more contemporary options such as strawberry and chocolate. This performance, which can last several minutes, has become a tourist attraction in its own right, attracting thousands of curious visitors who want to experience this unique form of gastronomic entertainment. Number 16. The tradition of bride kidnapping. A controversial tradition still prevalent in some rural areas of Turkey is bride kidnapping. This tradition, while controversial to modern eyes, often functions as a way to circumvent financial or family obstacles to marriage. The process involves elaborate planning between the suitor and his allies, who coordinate the ideal time to take the bride to a pre-arranged location. Modern Turkish law provides for severe punishments for non-consensual cases, with sentences of up to a decade in prison. Recent statistics show that approximately 5% of marriages in rural areas still follow this custom. The reasons range from economic issues, such as the inability to afford the costs of a traditional wedding, to social reasons, such as family opposition to the relationship. This practice has sparked a nationwide debate about cultural traditions and individual rights in contemporary Turkish society. Number 15. The fascinating story of Santa Claus. Contrary to popular belief, Santa Claus's origins lie not in the frigid north of Europe, but in the historic lands of Turkey. Born in the 4th century AD, Saint Nicholas was the son of a wealthy family and became a bishop at a young age. His reputation for generosity was reflected in his acts of generosity. Historical records show him secretly depositing gold coins through the windows of needy families. Documents from the time record that he was particularly devoted to helping orphaned children and young women without a dowry for marriage. The transformation of Saint Nicholas into the modern Santa Claus occurred gradually over the centuries, with contributions from many different cultures. The church where he served as bishop still stands in Demre, ancient Mera, and attracts thousands of pilgrims each year. Recent archaeological research in the region continues to reveal new details about his life and the historical context in which he lived. I have a question for you. First, I'd like to tell you that it's possible to keep up with the biggest curiosities of our world every day. But for that, you need to be subscribed to our channel. So, have you subscribed yet? If not, take the opportunity to subscribe now. Now that you've done that, let's go. Number 14. Noah's Ark found in Turkey. One of the most enduring Abrahamic traditions is the story of Noah and the Great Flood, which has its roots in ancient biblical and Quranic texts. Geological surveys have identified formations that suggest major ancient floods in the region, coinciding with the estimated time of the biblical flood. The dimensions described in the sacred texts, approximately 110 meters long, 18 meters wide, and 13 meters high, demonstrate advanced knowledge of naval architecture for the time. The discovery of the shipwreck in 2020 near Antalya provided evidence of sophisticated shipbuilding techniques, including sealing systems and wood preservation methods that could have been used on large, ancient sediment. Analysis in the Mount Ararat region has revealed layers that indicate significant flood events, corroborating historical accounts of major floods in the region. Number 13. The traditional Turkish coffee ritual. The ritual of Turkish coffee goes beyond the simple preparation of a drink, representing a cultural heritage recognized worldwide. This centuries-old tradition involves a specific method of preparation. The coffee, ground to a very fine powder, is slowly boiled in a special pot called a sezve, traditionally over hot sand. The process results in a full-bodied drink with a characteristic foam called kaymak. The consumption statistics are impressive. The annual average of 70,000 tons reflects not only domestic consumption, but also its importance in social rituals and celebrations. Turkish coffee is served in special small cups, accompanied by a glass of water, and often a traditional sweet called lokum. Reading the coffee grounds, a traditional divination practice called tassiography, remains popular at social gatherings. Number 12. The Grand Bazaar of Istanbul. The Grand Bazaar in Istanbul is one of the oldest and largest covered markets in the world, with an area of over 30,000 square meters. Its 60 streets are home to over 4,000 commercial establishments, directly employing around 26,000 people. The architecture of the place combines Byzantine and Ottoman elements, with decorated vaults and intricate mosaics. The bazaar is divided into specialized sections. The gold market, with over 700 jewelry stores, the carpet section, with rare pieces from all over Central Asia, and areas dedicated to spices, ceramics, and traditional crafts. The original 15th century ventilation system, still partially functional, demonstrates the architectural sophistication of the period. The bazaar receives approximately 91 million visitors annually, generating an estimated turnover of billions of dollars. Number 11. Tea culture in Turkey. In addition to coffee, tea also occupies a prominent place in Turkish culture. With an average consumption of 3.5 kilos per person per year, the Turks lead the world rankings for consumption of this beverage. National production, concentrated in the Black Sea region, employs more than 200,000 families and uses specific cultivation techniques on steep terrain. Turkish tea, known as çay, is prepared in a unique system of two overlapping kettles called çaydanlık, where the water boils in the lower part while the concentrated tea is brewed in the upper part. This method allows the strength of the drink to be adjusted according to individual preference. The social importance of tea is manifested in the more than 50,000 establishments dedicated exclusively to its consumption, called çay bahçesi, tea gardens, where people from all social classes gather to socialize. Number 10. The impressive thermal pools of Pamukkale. The limestone formations of Pamukkale are one of the most extraordinary geological phenomena in the world. These natural pools, formed over 400,000 years, cover an area measuring 2,700 meters long and 160 meters high. The thermal water, which emerges from deep geological faults, contains a high concentration of calcium bicarbonate, around 2.2 grams per liter. When it comes into contact with the air, the mineral precipitates, creating dazzling white petrified waterfalls. Scientific analysis reveals that these waters contain more than 17 different minerals, including magnesium, iron, and potassium, with proven therapeutic properties. The temperature of the springs varies depending on the depth. In the surface layers, it remains between 35 degrees Celsius and 42 degrees Celsius, while in the depths it can reach 100 degrees Celsius. The region attracts more than 2 million visitors every year and maintains a tourist infrastructure that preserves the delicate local ecological balance. Number 9. The tulipane's heritage. Another surprising discovery is that tulips, often associated with the Netherlands, actually have their roots in Turkey. Originating from the steppes of Central Asia, tulips were first cultivated by the Seleucid Turks in the 11th century. During the height of the Ottoman Empire, these flowers became so important that the period between 1718 and 1730 became known as the tulip era. The flower's scientific name, tulip, derives from the Turkish word tilbent, meaning turban, due to the similarity in shape to the bud. The first documented export to Europe occurred in 1554, when the Habsburg ambassador in Constantinople sent seeds and bulbs to Vienna. Historical records show that the Dutch began commercial cultivation of tulips in 1593 at the Leiden Botanical Garden. Today, Turkey grows more than 14 native tulip species and maintains historic gardens that preserve ancient varieties. Number 8. The distinctive beauty of Turkish women. Turkish feminine aesthetics represent a unique fusion of Mediterranean, Asian, and European influences. Anthropological data indicate an exceptional phenotypic diversity, the result of centuries of cultural exchange on trade routes between East and West. Traditional beauty techniques include the use of henna for body decoration, natural oils for hair treatment, and Dead Sea products for skincare. The Turkish cosmetics industry is worth approximately $5.5 billion annually, with a strong emphasis on eye products. Kohl eyeliner has historical roots, dating back to the Ottoman period. Research shows that 78% of urban Turkish women spend more than an hour a day on personal care. Number 7. The sumptuous Turkish breakfast. The typical Turkish breakfast is completely different from Western standards. Instead of eggs and toast, it includes over 40 different items, organized into specific categories: dairy products, including at least 5 different types of cheese; proteins, eggs prepared in various ways; pasturma, cured meat; fresh and preserved vegetables; different types of bread, simit, açma, börek, sweets, honey, homemade jams, tahini with molasses, and olives from various regions. Specialized breakfast establishments called kahvaltısalonları serve an average of 300 people per day on weekends. The meal traditionally lasts between 1.5 to 2 hours and follows a specific service protocol. Number 6. The importance of coffee. During the Ottoman period, coffee transcended its role as a beverage to function as an instrument of social power and women's rights. Historical documents from 16th century Ottoman courts reveal that the right to coffee was included in marriage contracts. Women could seek divorce if they were deprived of their daily quota of 3 cups. The exclusively male coffeehouses of the period spawned a parallel economy of coffee served in homes by and for women. Records indicate that in the 17th century, Constantinople had over 600 coffee establishments, consuming approximately 30,000 kilograms of the beverage monthly. This tradition laid the foundation for Turkish coffee's current status as a UNESCO intangible cultural heritage. Number 5. The Evil Eye Amulet. The Nazır Boncuğu, popularly known as the Turkish eye, is one of the oldest protective symbols in the Eastern Mediterranean, with archaeological evidence dating back to 3300 BC. This amulet, traditionally produced through a complex artisanal process involving glass melting at 1500 degrees Celsius, is characterized by concentric circles in shades of blue, white, and black. The Turkish eye artisanal industry generates approximately $250 million in exports annually. The main production centers are located in Izmir and Bodrum, where more than 3,000 artisans maintain traditional manufacturing techniques. Anthropological studies have identified variations of this symbol in 12 different cultures of the Mediterranean region, each with its own interpretation and method of making. In modern Turkey, the symbol appears in 78% of homes and is incorporated into a variety of products, from handmade jewelry to architectural elements. Number 4. The Turkish War of Independence. The Turkish War of Independence represented a turning point in the country's history. Following the defeat of the Ottoman Empire in World War I, the 1920 Treaty of Sevres proposed dividing Turkish territory into zones of foreign influence. The numbers of Turkish resistance are impressive. 200,000 soldiers mobilized under the command of Mustafa Kemal Ataturk faced a combined force of 400,000 Greek, French, and Italian troops. The Battle of Dumlupinar in August 1922 proved decisive, with Turkish forces recovering 11,000 kilometers of territory in just 2 weeks. The subsequent Treaty of Lausanne, signed on July 24, 1923, established Turkey's modern borders, covering 783,562 kilometers of territory. This period marked the transition from the Ottoman imperial system to a secular republic, with profound social and political reforms implemented in the following decades. Number 3. Erdogan is committed to Islamism. Contemporary Turkey presents a complex tapestry of cultural and religious identities. Recent demographic data show that 99.8% of the country's 84.3 million population is Muslim, although with varying levels of religious observance. The country maintains 84,684 active mosques and has invested heavily in their preservation, with an annual budget of $1.6 billion for the maintenance of religious sites. The Turkish economy, the 17th largest in the world, integrates traditional and modern elements with a GDP of $720 billion. The current educational system includes 129 public and 74 private universities, where more than 7 million students study. The country's infrastructure has undergone significant modernization, with 28,590 kilometers of railways and 68,526 kilometers of paved roads connecting the country's various regions. Number 2. The impressive Istanbul Metro Tunnel. The Istanbul Tunnel, a pioneering example of metropolitan transport, represents a milestone in 19th century civil engineering. Built in 1875 by French and British engineers, the system used 556 tons of steel in its original structure. The tunnel, 573 meters long, overcomes a 60-meter drop in elevation using a funicular system that originally operated with 150 horsepower steam engines. The electrical modernization of 1971 increased its capacity to 170 passengers per trip, carrying 28,000 trips per day. The original ventilation system, considered revolutionary for its time, still partially works, renewing the air every 7 minutes. It is currently part of a 178 kilometers metro network that serves 2.5 million passengers daily. Number 1. The traditional camel fight. The ancient tradition of camel wrestling is a living cultural heritage of Turkey. Originating in the 10th century among Turkmen tribes, the sport involves male Tulu camels, which can weigh up to 1,200 kilograms and reach 2.5 meters in height. The annual festivals, held between November and March in 32 different locations, attract more than 150,000 spectators. The competing camels, valued at up to $50,000 each, are trained for 3 years before their first fight. The most important event takes place in Selçuk, bringing together 140 camels and generating tourism revenue of approximately $1 million. A strict code of practice ensures the welfare of the animals, with veterinarians present and strict rules on the duration of the fights. Which country do you want to see next on our channel? Leave your answer below in the comments. Now, I'm going to recommend this video for you to watch. Take advantage of the fact that I've selected it especially for you. Well, that's it, and until next time, Curious One.